Welcome to the June 27th, 2022 Advanced Report for McGowan Group clients and NetWorthRadio.com listeners. I'm Spencer McGowan, your financial weatherman, with your weekly fast-paced tour of the global financial markets. This YouTube, you just can't get it anywhere else, so be sure to subscribe. I am President, McGowan Group Asset Management, a team of 10, the team that cares. Busy all week getting you all the headlines at NetWorthRadio.com. I urge you to visit that site for the extended program. We also gather the information from Bloomberg and a tremendous number of sources to put together a dynamic dashboard for you each and every week. Recession, 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 recession. All the headlines, like every headline had to have the word recession in there. And when you get this pessimistic, well, sometimes you end up reaching a bottom in pricing because of that pessimism. But I wanted to see the updated forecasts for economic growth because I saw the word recession too many times during the week. So the Bloomberg assembly of all the learned economists is right here. And this information says, okay, what is GDP growth going forward according to their projections? Well, the second quarter says actually real GDP would come in at 3%. Is that too optimistic? The Atlanta Fed said 0. Why were we negative in the first quarter? Well, annualized economic growth about 7%, inflation 8.5%. You have to subtract inflation to get real GDP. That's called a stealth recession. And it could happen this quarter as well, subtracting inflation from the dollar growth in the economy. But what is it not? It's not a depression, and it's not an actual contraction, at least not yet, in the dollar amount of activity in the economy, right? You don't see companies with revenues going down. Some will, but that's always part of the case. Now look at this. GDP slows by the first quarter of 23 to 1.7%, according to the economists. And will be below 2% all of next year. It's anemic growth, but it's still projected to be growth. What about earnings? If I look at earnings, here's the pandemic. This is the quarterly earnings of the S&P 500 unit, quarterly after-tax earnings. Look at this. It's flattened out. It kind of receded, if you will, in profitability. Maybe these analysts are too optimistic, but look at what happens here. That's a 20% projected increase in the next 6 months for the earnings of companies. Wow. And that's the updated forecast. Let's move a little forward. I have a question on the Dow. Dow year to date went below 30,000. That last week was a tough week. This week was the first rally we've seen in over a month. What does that mean? Well, we reached the height of pessimism, and at least temporarily, you found a bottom and there's great bargains out there. FedEx had great news this week. I was looking for some good news. We're meeting in the investment committee this week. I said, hey guys, we need some good news. I said, find me some good news. Well, FedEx delivered on Friday, 37% profit increase, 8% revenue increase. What is that? Not a recession, actually, at least not yet. This is the NASDAQ over 25 years. So I spoke to the Better Investing Conference, was very grateful to do that. And one of the things I pointed out, I was in an investment club when everybody loved tech back here in 1999. We all know how that turned out. Well, the number one position in investment clubs was Cisco. So this was included in my presentation. You look at 2.5 years later, what happened? Well, the NASDAQ was down 80%, representing primarily the tech companies, the top 100 in the NASDAQ. And when this went down 80%, nobody wanted to come to the investment club meeting. It's not any fun anymore. But that was actually the time that you could get some good bargains. And this NASDAQ reached up here. I had one client look at the indexes and say, why don't we just do the NASDAQ? And I said, here's your answer, right? 20 years below water. And of course, the tech wreck is well underway this year with a 30% decline from the peak. I'm going to cover some things on energy that in many ways will shock you. U.S. Energy Information Agency Notice it doesn't say Oil and Gas Administration. This is actually the EIA. What does this say? Texas is on pace to surpass California in solar generating capacity. Texas is the capital of the world capital of energy, I believe, and this is proof. Here, your electric vehicle, if you're feeling virtuous, well, that's good, but see this blue right here? Your vehicle is pretty much majority powered by natural gas, and natural gas usage for electrical generating capacity by 2050 is actually larger. Everybody said fossil fuels going away, zero, the net zero craze. Solar actually has the highest growth rate in here, but this is 2050. In other words, you don't reach net zero with the technology that we currently have. At some point, maybe so. Liquid natural gas exports, responsible for carbon emission reduction in the United States. Natural gas is. Liquid natural gas is the blue, and it doubles in 10 years. It's about a 7% growth rate in demand for liquid natural gas around the world, and that, of course, has fired up the Haynesville shale and filled up the pipelines, by the way, that pay good dividends. Now, last point, 2050, natural gas has actually grown overall, and renewables have doubled in the amount of power, the percentage of power that they deliver. So that's an extraordinary progress for renewables, and of course it is primarily solar. These charts and graphs are available to you at networthradio.com. With that natural gas, you can see the spike in renewables, how much electricity is generated from renewables, and you can see natural gas actually has a growth pattern projected out here. So it is all hands on deck for the energy crisis and, of course, the technology evolution to clean technology. This is natural gas spiking before the shale revolution, right here, here, and here. That surplus, you could see the low pricing here, that surplus is getting used up, and exports are part of that process. We spiked to almost $10 per million BTUs. Historically, inflation adjusted, that would be something over 20, and of course Europe is already there. I'm Spencer McGowan, President, McGowan Group Asset Management. I urge you to go to networthradio.com, fill out your preliminary client questionnaire, and we will do a brainstorming session to take your plan to the next level for the next decade. Thank you for tuning in to Net Worth Media today and our efforts over the past 2 decades to educate clients and help clients make great decisions. That's the reason that we're here at YouTube McGowan Group, Apple Podcasts, Net Worth Radio, and networthradio.com. The Net Worth Media effort is designed to help you make great decisions and address value at risk of loss, fluctuation in the markets. Remember, if we talk about a security, doesn't make it a recommendation until you come down and get a plan from McGowan Group Asset Management, the team that cares. You can set a Zoom meeting or an in-office meeting at the Crescent, and we'll give you a written plan that encompasses what we believe to be the best allocations. This is a team of 10 devoted to you. That includes the research that you see each week from Reuters, from Bloomberg, and from the best sources. We always post links at networthradio.com for what we believe can help you make great decisions, the research that comes up. Now, the Net Worth Media effort is also designed to address cycles in the market, value at risk of loss. At networthradio.com, you can get the ADV form that shows, yes, we're a fiduciary, a registered investment advisor. It covers the costs of hiring our team to help you in the future ahead. It really helps to have an expert team on your side that you can reach by phone, email, and of course, a team that's here for you every week to address what's going on in the markets, because anxiety can often lead investors to make decisions that are either dangerous, chasing things, or selling things when they shouldn't. And that's a big part of our planning effort at McGowan Group Asset Management. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to serving you and your family in the years ahead.